This example works with the flexible box technique in CSS to position elements inside of this main article. So essentially at the top we've got a banner image in the header. There's actually a H1 element in there too, but its display is set to invisible. It's just there for content, search engine optimization really, and for if the banner reason doesn't appear for any reason. Then we've got some sections, 6 of them, inside of the article. The only real way you can see the article is the difference in the blue from the banner image, which is a little bit subtle. Each section has got a hover state, so that when you hover over it, it goes a slightly purpley color. Inside of those sections, there's an image, and then also alongside the image, there's a div tag. The div contains the H2 and the paragraph of description. The IDs used, for the header, main header is appropriate. For the article, main article is appropriate. For the sections, they're numbered 1 through to 6. The section images have a class, and we're using that to generate a clipping path. So rather than seeing the full image, which is set to 100% of the width of these boxes, it's actually more circular. There is a footer at the bottom. You can barely see it. I haven't really done anything with that yet. Okay, so just show the HTML that I've talked you through. So the style, which strictly speaking should be inside the head, for some reason it seems to have found itself outside. And now I'll just move that back. Now, until we put it in a separate file for organizational purposes. So the structure, start off with, if we go inside the body tag, we'll see the header. Header's got an ID of main header. There is a H1 tag in there, but it's not visible because I've set it to none in the display. We've got the article, which contains all of the main content. And inside of there, we've got sections. And there's 6 of them. I'll just show you the first one. They're all the same. So the section in between there, we've got the image. We've got the div, which has got a class of description containing the H2 and the paragraph, any content. And the rest is taken care of really in CSS. So there's 6 of those. And at the very, very bottom, we've got the close article, and then a div for the video player. That's for positioning purposes, really. We need to make the element full size, so we're going to cover over the full page, but the player is going to stay at its normal size within that, pretty much. There's also going to be a close link. So we just go back to the example. If I click on this video, you'll notice there I've given it a purple background. There's a close link there, and they're set to autoplay. There we go. And they all do that, essentially. Okay. So the CSS at the top of the page, just running through that. So tags are referenced just by their tag names. So we've got body, header, and H1 are referenced directly, and then I'm using IDs for most of the other bits. So the body, I've given a specific width at the moment. So it's not fluid at this current time. If I make it bigger or smaller, it doesn't really make any difference. It's just got a fixed size, and the margin handles the space at the side. So the margin handles the spacing, and the position in the body puts it in the center. We could change the width to a percentage value for a minute and just have a look at what happens there. So if I set it to, yeah, maybe 90%. Have a look at that. It's got a little bit smaller, but also just to refresh that page, I think. May also want to set the main article size. I won't focus on that too much right now. The main article is the thing we focus on the most. I mean, the header's got a background image, it's got a specific height, it's got no width property at the moment. The main article is set to flex, which allows, under the right circumstances, for the content to be adjusted based on the size of the box. But currently is just positioning things nice and evenly, really. And let's have a quick look at the CSS on there. Oh yeah, the body's not actually picked up the size. Let me just change that again. Oh, there we go. So now you can see it working with a 90% width, and what will happen is the content inside the flex box is a bit more fluid, goes up and down, gets a little bit smaller. I think I'll just close that one because it's a direct link at the moment. So it's a bit more fluid, but also you notice the header image overlaps its edge when we resize, which is not exactly what we want to happen. Now the header is using a background image, so what we could do to handle that is we could set the background size to contain or cover or to a specific amount. We try cover. Cover's quite good because it handles changes a little bit, which would work fine with a photograph and no text, but the text isn't working very well because it's getting cut off there. We could try and set it to 100%, see if it'll pick up the size of the box. Now, there we go. No, still overlapping. So the way we'd maybe handle that is by having an image inside of the header rather than using the background image property. Now we'll just return it to a fixed size. The opacity of H1 set to 0. That means that the content will still exist, although it's not visible. The main article, it's got a background color, flex wrap. The display and the justify content is handling and making the boxes, the sections space out and give a little margin around the outside of them. Player container is basically set to be the full size of the screen. Its position is fixed, so it covers over everything, and it's also taking on align content and justify content so that the player itself will be positioned centrally. Positioning the link to the right hand side of the page, so setting that to right 0 and top 0 of its box. Little bit of margin indents it. Changing the cursor to pointer. Giving it a bit of text decoration when we hover over it on rollover. The section itself is set to 30%, so if we do use a fluid size on the body, then it will adjust based on that. It's got a minimum width size as well. And then the rest is just basically putting a little bit of a margin between the boxes. giving it a background color, a little bit of padding